No, still a Schopenhauer guy. So the Schopenhauer guys are sort of double-edged swords. If you're going into effectively a wartime scenario with a huge battery coming at you from all sides, it is actually quite difficult to get a word in edgeways. But it's okay though, because we did actually manage to tip off Reef Hadel Mancu about some of the insanity in Birmingham. Some of his colleagues were tipped off, including someone else in finance and local government. We were able to actually have an adult conversation. It was also interesting because dear old Ben was spending his evening chasing women rather than actually looking after his court officers. So playing Hunt the Slipper on a Monday, I'm sure, is a lovely way to spend one's evening. But it should be pointing out at this point that Birmingham is, as he suggests, totally ungovernable. I can see why the guy's given up. If you can try and get a straight answer out of the managing director of Birmingham Council as to what some equity is, or you can sit here and sort of in Weimar Britain and flirt with blondes at these kind of events. But in the current case, it is clearly the case that he is correct. The city at the moment is totally ungovernable. You can't actually have situations where somebody nobody's ever actually spoken to in Deborah Gentieri's case is able to try and constructively dismiss their compliance officers by satellite because she wouldn't go and do compliance in that city. So when you're saying to a woman, well, our officers have historically been kidnapped in properties, I'm sure you understand why I, despite the size of me, wouldn't go and do that when we have no security. Normal people actually understand this, but of course she's not Deborah Gentieri, she's not Jennifer Southall, she's not David Fern, and her money is not going to be cut off by the necessity for being honest. So you can have political theory conversations, you can bring us sort of baby steps into what happened, discussions of course all over the place, from people talking back to the 1600s to, in my case, the 1800s, but obviously people discussing the Blair legacy and that kind of thing. So when you can come to a place like this and think freely, because whether like it or not, equity doesn't apply here, this is still the seat of English power, then if you're made it over the border after the war and stole the hips off a woman on a battleship, then it's mine too. You ain't kicking the Celts out. So we've survived a year roughly from the date the old man carked it. I can't actually recall, I think he may have dropped dead in August, so we're not long off. Managed to survive that far, and again, the total breakdown in order after he died, I suppose in hindsight, is the ultimate boomer carking it, and the vacuum being filled by those kind of people. To give the guy his credit, the old man did have a high quality brain, and if he hadn't been abusing his child along with his wife for most of their life, I might have done better. But again, I think he did want it to be the autodidact who could get into these kind of places organically, show up as the head of Clan McGrath in various forms, so when the mist is solidified, the fist, of course, comes out of the ether and punches Birmingham. But the conversation this evening was very good because, of course, it covers people's incredulity. Why is Birmingham so corrupt? Well, again, if they're lying to Andrew Mitchell and their own court officers and this kind of stuff, it's because of Roney, it's because of Cotton and Gilbourne and these people, their money, and they ran into a guy who didn't care about money, just wanted to tell the truth. Because you look at buildings like this and you see the beauty of it and the history of it, but really it's built on bones. So if you think of these buildings as being built on the bones of the English, you realise this is actually quite a macabre fortress in many cases. This is built on the blood of previous men who wanted to defend this island from invasion. It has been invaded from the south, in Birmingham's case, and we're just going to reverse that. So I'm afraid there are various people who've been led to believe that they are British and they have just as much of a claim to these islands as the McGraths do, but it's not true. This is mine, this is for my posterity, this is for my children, my grandchildren, and we're not being looted by the sort of feral orcs that run around Birmingham. So they can, the current mayor of Birmingham can come to this ancient, hallowed city, the bastion of the English, and tell him that he built this place.